Hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of Off the Beaten Path, the show that looks at paranormal events both historically as well as in modern day times. As always, I'm your host, Reverend Hagen. Now, I know it's been, good Lord, almost 3 months since I have produced a video, which is insane. All I can say is I've had to deal with a death, some health issues, and a ton of technical issues that are driving me nuts. I had 2 shows in the pike that would not render. Technical stuff I know, but it was frickin' driving me crazy. So hopefully today this video will render, because it's kind of an important topic. What I'm going to be talking about today are the drones. The drones that have been seen literally all over the world. I don't have that much video, which is one of the nails in my craw. I don't even know if that's an expression, but frankly, it should be. That I've had to deal with trying to get videos out on this. This has been going on for a month, this drone situation. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about it for a little bit for the first part of this video, and then I'm going to show you some of the actual videos of these drones. This is not just an isolated case in New Jersey, if that's what you're thinking, or even on the East Coast. They're in Canada, they're in California, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Tennessee. On the East Coast, you've got Florida. They were actually over Mar-a-Lago. That's the word. That, of course, is incoming President Trump's residence. They were over the Capitol building. It is wild. And again, not just in this country. France, Germany, Australia, Austria, France. I think I already said France. And yet France again. China. China, the video I'm going to show you from China is astounding. And we'll get into that when we're actually watching the videos. But the big question on everybody's mind is, 1, what the hell is going on? And 2, what are they? For me, it's a little complicated, all right? Drones are drones. Now, I have 2 drones myself that I use for investigations. If we're going out to look for a cryptoid, we'll just leave it at that. So drones are a thing, right? That everybody sees all the time. My neighbors fly their drones all the time, and it absolutely drives me crazy. Because they'll come over my yard, and I know they're filming me. I know it. Just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean that everybody's not out to get me. Okay? So drones are all over the place. But the drones that they're seeing are like drones that we haven't seen before. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that they're extraterrestrial, right? Most of these drones in the videos, or a lot of them anyway, have both a red and green light, which are normal aviation lights. And because of that, they feel very human, for lack of a better term, right? The crazy thing is, though, last year, or this year, again, my timeline's a little off because, frankly, they passed a law that every drone that is in the sky has to have an identifier for not just the drone, but for the operator as well, for the device that you have, and has to be registered. That doesn't seem like that's been enforced with all the drones that I've seen in my personal experience, but it is the law, right? It's the law of the land now. It's passed through Congress and signed in and blah, 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 blah. I'm just a bill, right? So what are they and what are they doing? We don't know. We don't have any definitive answer, right? I heard one senator say, I know exactly what they are. I've been talking to the powers that be, and I know what these guys are. But then he wouldn't say what they were or why they were out in force. A lot of people, a lot of mayors across our nation anyway, have been very vocal about our skies are being filled with these drones, and we have no explanation for it. And you'll see in the videos that it is astounding. For my money, I don't usually do this at the beginning of a video, but I want to be really clear about something. Especially the last few days, I have seen videos that look like orbs. They don't look like drones. There are drones in there as well, but then there are these orbs. There's even one that Third Phase of the Moon put out. And if you haven't checked those guys out, I'm going to leave their link below because they have amazing coverage of this story. That one was caught in a tree, and it looks biological. I would love to be able to show you that video, but my software and my old computer are having problems. But I did get some footage of the videos, which I will show you shortly. So now, according to some, like Dr. Stephen Greer, these could be back engineered, sure, drones, but also ships that we have created based on technology that we have gathered from down UFOs, from down craft, UAPs, whatever you want to call them. I'm hip deep in Stephen Greer and his research and his methods. I even have, I don't know if you can you see that there? Right there, one of my tattoos in a very specifically placed spot is the symbol for the CE5, for Close Encounters of a Fifth Kind. Basically, what that is, Dr. Greer believes, and I know I'm sidetracking here, but you got to bear with me because it all comes full circle. The CE5 gig that Dr. Greer puts out is how to get into a meditative state to contact these ETs, these fellow travelers, and have them come down and interact with us. His theory is, and I love it so much, is that it should not be the government that makes first contact with ETs. They have an agenda. We, as the public, just want to say, hey, we love you, come on down, let's interact and learn from each other. How great would that be, right? So that's the premise of it. And there are CE5 events where you gather, you can do it by yourself, but you gather in a remote area, like the Joshua Tree Park. They go to quite a bit. And you're kind of out there and you meditate, you get into that level of consciousness, right? And vector them into you. And if you've never heard of Dr. Greer, check out his YouTube channel, check out his movies. There really is a lot to learn. And I personally love that idea that his whole gig is, not to get super new agey here, I guess I'm too late for that, but it's all about love, right? There's an experiment that was done, and I don't think I've covered this yet, but there was an experiment that was done where they had 1% of a population in a small town meditate just on love, on just feeling love, exuding love, feeling love on a conscious, in a different consciousness space, different conscious state, okay? And what they found is, over a month or a month and a half period, violent crime went down. ER visits went way down. And I mean by like 28, 30%. That is remarkable. That's just with 1% of the town. And the town didn't know this experiment was going on when they did it. And they did it more than once. It was a repeatable experiment, which is how you get proof of the paranormal of anything. It's very tricky with the paranormal because there's not a certain thing you can do to bring about a ghost. There's not a certain thing you can do to, okay, this person is, we know from our scientific data that this person is actually possessed by an entity from another dimension. We don't know how to do that. We know how meditations and groups like that, meditative groups that are trying to raise their consciousness, like the Sufis or, Paramahansa Yogananda, these different groups that meditate, even a lot of pagan traditions, believe it or not, will meditate to achieve a certain level of consciousness. And the idea is to bring that consciousness to your everyday life. And that's where Stephen Greer is grounded in for his contact with extraterrestrials, for lack of a better term, right? Because we're all just schmoes bopping around the universe, right? That's how I see things anyway. Okay, so I got a little far afield there, but not really, because some of the footage that I've seen of these drones, they some look like straight drones, just on a larger scale. Some actually look like airplanes, and they range in sizes, but they're all abnormally large. Most of even commercial drones are maybe 5 feet in diameter, right? Some of these drones are the size of cargo containers, the size of minivans. I mean, they're huge. And they definitely act and sound like drones. They're not completely silent, all right? But then you have these orbs that are also there. There was one really amazing clip where a classic drone went up and interacted with this orb, this giant orb, and for whatever reason, the drone drops. Like something about this whole operation did not agree with that drone. There are countless videos too, and maybe not countless, but at least 20 or 30. Close to countless? No? Yes? Anyway, that of people that have their drones and they're going to send them up to see what's going on with their own drone, right? And some get a few feet off the ground, the battery dies. I mean, completely. Like a new, fully charged battery is non-functional. Others actually get up into the air, but if they get any height at all, the battery dies and they ground again. Absolutely wild. So there seems to be, in my opinion anyway, some sort of field that drains the batteries on these drones. And what's so wild to me about that is I've had that experience of my batteries draining on cell phones, on IR cameras, infrared cameras, on digital recorders, on EMF meters during paranormal investigations. It's the same concept, just in a completely different area. In fact, it's a concept that almost seems like it's been weaponized, if that makes any sense. And I'm not talking like an EMP pulse that will knock out anything electrical anywhere around it. This is very specific to the smaller drones that are trying to go up. What does that mean? I have no idea. My theory, and I know I started to say this, I believe, my theory on this is actually that it's either just a straight psyop deal where the people that are using these black budgets to retrieve UFOs or UAPs to get this alien technology are trying to prepare us for a fictional invasion of the world, that we would unite and give all the power to the government to keep us safe from this alien invasion, right? Some of the other theories is that there's a Iranian mothership that is off the East Coast, which, okay, that could be true, but what about the ones in China, in Tennessee? I mean, the entire East Coast in a single evening was inundated by these drones. The footage out of China almost looks like something breaking up in like a celestial event, right? With this stuff is falling down. But then, and I'll show you the video, but as these things are falling down, lights are blinking in the debris coming down, which I guess could mean a lot of things. To me, that's really, really wild, though. So, I mean, that's kind of my opinion. The other side of that could be there is a PSYOP thing where all these drones are coming in. They're trying to get us geared up for another enemy, right, that we need to fight because we got to keep that industrial military complex well fed. Is that they're doing that, and at the same time, the ETs are saying, oh, is this what's going on? Let me show you. Let me show you what we can do, like with the drones dropping when they interact with these things. It's all absolutely wild. So I felt the need to address this because this is, not to get sidetracked here, but there's a lot of times as Americans, right, where things will happen in our shore and it's all about us. It's, even if it's a global event, yeah, but it's in Jersey, people. What the hell? So there's this idea that it's we have to solve this problem, and it's a direct threat to us, when this is quite literally a global event. So I don't know, my brothers and sisters. It's pretty scary. I actually don't look at it. The only thing that would be scary for me is that if these drones were actually, with all this activity, is just a manipulation of the public, which really feels like it is. And you may think I'm talking crazy, but Werner von Braun, the one who we got from the Nazis, that was using that during the Second World War, was creating rockets, right? Well, because of Operation Paperclip, and I know I'm starting to sound like a crazy person, but you got to bear with me on this, all right? In Operation Paperclip, we got a lot of members, high-ranking members of the Nazi Party after World War II, working for the United States of America in our covert operations, in our intelligence operations, and working for NASA. Werner von Braun was the one who designed the rocket that took us to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. And on his deathbed, he had made a proclamation that first it's going to be a foreign country, then it's going to be or an ideology. It's going to be like communism. Then it's going to be terrorists that we need to take care of. And this is in the 60s when he made these proclamations. They weren't predictions. He had seen what was on the ground for achieving the goals that the military-industrial complex wanted to achieve. This is not me even saying, oh, I'm buying into a crazy theory. These are facts, okay? So the third one, he said, is going to be an alien event. It's going to be a made-up alien invasion. He believed in ETs. He said he knew they were real, especially after the structures they saw on the moon, the greeting that we got from aliens on the moon. That most of you that are hearing this are just going to go, Rev, you have lost your frickin' mind. I am telling you, do an ounce of research, right? Not everybody believes that. That's even done the research. I think it's undeniable. Anywho's. So this guy predicted this event. Even though this isn't being called aliens, there are these orbs that are going on at the same time. Can you imagine globally? If we couldn't figure out what was going on, we would react like it was an alien invasion. Simply because there are things in our airspace that we don't know what they are or who's operating them. It doesn't look great. Even the F-whatevers, the F-27s, the F-30, whatever number they're on now, that followed some of these drones out to sea, lost them. They couldn't track them, which is the information that we're getting. And I know I sound paranoid by saying we're not getting all the information from our government about what's going on with this. But if history is any indicator of us getting information immediately about things that are going on, we are not getting the information that our government knows about this. That being said, that's kind of my take on what's going on here. So I'm going to show you some videos. I'm actually just going to let the last part of this video play out with the drones. The videos that I have that I've gotten from other sources online, right? I don't have anybody sending me any kind of footage because I'm a rinky-dink little YouTube channel. I'm not a big YouTube channel, which is fine, but I'd like to get a little bit more audience. I'd like to get some of that cheddar cheese, if you know what I'm saying. So I'll say it here. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Please, please, please leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Oh, and incidentally, all of the footage that I'm going to show you and that we see on the internet is not from the government. It is all from people like you and me on the ground, going out there with their cell phones, with their video cameras, and recording what the hell is going on. So we're not even getting videos from this. Local news has tons of stuff on this stuff. Jump on the internet and type in on YouTube and type in drones over America or drones over the world, and you'll get so much stuff. Again, I'm going to praise Third Phase of the Moon. They have really been on this story, and they've really been doing really well. I believe they have a documentary on Netflix as well. That's, I think, the number one documentary in the nation right now. It could be the world. I don't know. So, excuse me. So let's get on with the videos, and we'll see what's going on. So, what'd you think? I thought the China one was absolutely wild. It looks like something is disintegrating and falling on whatever province that is in China. I wish we knew more about China. Some of the amazing things, archaeological finds, temples, pyramids that they have in China, we don't hear about. Unless it's a fringe kind of thing, like what I do, the History Channel, which is now pretty much kind of a fringe thing going on there. All the fringe news, Ancient Aliens, Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, I love that show. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, please, please, please comment and subscribe again. It's my plea. I can't even have a members thing because I'm not over 500 or whatever the thing is for subscribers to get that. I'm not going to beg you, but please become a member on my Patreon page. I'm going to start uploading videos to that first. So you'd be the first one to see that. Also, either do some exclusive things just for the Patreon, which I think you're really going to enjoy. So check it out. Become a member of my Patreon page. I don't have a member thing on YouTube because I'm too small. Well, my channel is. Thank you. So, my brothers and sisters, that's it. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I know things are really nutty, not just in my country here in America, but all over the world. Stay grounded, stay focused. Remember, it's all about love, right? That's the only way we're going to get through this, if we can just frickin' talk to each other and have a dialogue about everything, right? I rarely talk about politics on this channel, but politically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you have different ideas, let's talk about it, right? I love you guys, and as always, you keep those heads up, my brothers and sisters.